So now we are going to talk about this movement, un poco più lento. It's a beautiful movement, very slow, and it has 4 measures of pattern here. Ti ra di ram, ti ra ram. So this rhythm, pitch can change, but this rhythm doesn't change for about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, including the introduction that orchestra is playing. So it starts with this orchestra playing. So this is one pattern, and it's introducing the theme to the violinist, and then the violinist is taking this and orchestra changes to accompaniment. It always has this kind of pa, the 8th notes in the background with the harmony. So you can just flow through it. It was kind of hard to play by myself, but you can feel that rhythm behind you and play this. So this is the response to this orchestra introduction. And important thing here is that we have the swell marking, crescendo and diminuendo. So always, even if when you have 2 notes, the same note, quarter notes, make it different by making it clear where those notes are going. So in this case, we have crescendo to this 3rd note, which is the 2nd measure. Here, first note, and then 2nd note, crescendo. See, we're getting to this note, which is the highest note here. So crescendoing to arrive here with light bow, and then start with small bow, more weight, right? And then feel the distance in between 2 notes. Always the relationship with 2 notes are important, and the direction where you're going is always important to think about when you're phrasing. So these 4 measures, we want to make it as smooth as possible and as one line as possible with this arch. So with direction. And then here, you get here more weight down the bow as you support the bow with your violin. And then, so the reason why I made a little bit of slide there is because I feel like this is the interval that you want to really feel the distance, because it's the peak from coming down. So direction, and then this rhythm. Every time this rhythm comes, the composer wrote accent on the 2nd note. So the shortest note, then long. But you don't have to make it too emphasized. Make it sing and think about the intention why the composer wrote this kind of rhythm in this slow movement. In classical music and in Romantic era, there were a lot of composers, even Beethoven in 𝗟𝗏𝗀 Symphony, writing this Lento movement that kind of represents the funeral march. So when they wrote Funeral March, it was very slow march in 2 beats or 4 beats in 1 measures, and included this kind of rhythm, pa pa, pa pa, or ta ti, ta ti, something like that. So in this Lento movement, since this is the shortest one, but at the same time it's the slowest one, and then the composer kept writing these 4 measures pattern in this rhythm with a melody that fits into this kind of character. So dotted rhythm in the second measure, long dotted rhythm here, long, short, and then now short, long. And then for me, it sounds a little bit like giving up. Kind of discouraged and exhausted, maybe lost hope. So those rhythm, when the third measure comes, composer wrote pianissimo, pianissimo, and at last pianissimo. So it's the part that it went down from that peak and then losing the strength to keep going. In stillness, and then so here the composer wrote bigger distance, bigger interval on E string. So the reason why I used E string is because first time the whole movement is with consort, which means with the mute, which makes the sound softer. So you don't have to try to make it too soft because this makes the effect already. But here, little more sound, little more character, little more desperation, and then really feel the distance. More faster vibrato, and then calm down. Again, giving up. Okay. And then again. This is the same melody as the introduction that orchestra played. And then it follows up with, here the second note has the fermata. Now these 8 measures are repeating. And then this time I will make this fermata longer. And now we're getting to C minor. So here it's a little more freedom in this last 4 measures. This is out of this pattern, the rhythm the march is done, and then it's just ending with a little more freedom here. So when you are playing this, there's ritardando. You can slow down the whole way, or you can move forward and slow down at the end. So here, this run, you can take your time in the beginning, because if you just play this sextuplets like etude, it just sounds like etude, and it's not supposed to be that way. It's more of like a storytelling. So you want to just really make the phrase more flowing, like you're telling a story. So slow, and then flow, and then slow down. And then the way to vibrate at the top position is to relax your shoulders, and sometimes we get tight here. So when you get tight in this arm, your vibrato can get tight too, right? So try to relax here, relax this arm, and relax your right shoulder. So, and then and breathe out, bow by the bridge. Something like that. You can take time ending this session. So this was Lento movement. It's very simple, but at the same time, also there's some complex feeling. So you can make this 4-measure pattern of the phrase in 8 measures in one phrase and tell the story. It doesn't have to be, all 4 measures don't have to be exactly the same. You can make it softer and louder, little more laid back, or more intense. Something like that. It depends on the interval between the notes, and then also which string you're playing. And always feel these 8 notes behind you, underneath you. Pa, pa. You're not alone. Ti, ra, ra, pa, pa. So this will make you sing a little more and flow with the phrase together. And then at the end, you want to just make it a little more freedom. The orchestra will give you downbeat. Ta, ra, ri, ra, ri, ra, di. Pa. Here you're alone. And then the orchestra is just holding. You can take time here, and then here, orchestra is coming with a downbeat together to end with you. Yeah, so hope this was helpful. In terms of vibrato, you want to make sure that you're vibrating every single note, but at the same time, you can use the vibrato speed from slow to fast, or normal, or no vibrato to more vibrato. Always incorporate that with the phrase that you are making to make this story more interesting. So hope this was helpful, and I will continue to record the next movement, which is challenging movement, very fast. It's called Allegro molto vivace. So, and it's a totally different character and tempo and energy compared to the previous 2 movements. So tune in and subscribe to my channel if you haven't to get updated with my next video. And also download the PDF that I made for violinists who want to practice with body, mind, and heart alignment, really tuning into how your body is feeling and building the awareness around your body to make all the technique actually easier and more comfortable for you to make a good sound. Because when our body parts are tight and tensed, it doesn't really make a good sound. And I take you to the steps that you can take before you practice and while you're practicing to really tune in with your body to be able to really make a good relationship with your body and your violin. So download a PDF and tune in for the next video for the final movement of Zigeunerweisen. And in the meantime, happy practicing!